everyone, thank you so much for tuning back to Urban Tropical. This is Raj, and today we are going to talk about what's the best way really to store this plant. So what we have established already that this is going to be a dry storage because it's been all cut. So if you see, the roots are pretty dry and the leaves look in pretty good condition. The only two are kind of almost getting to rot is this one and this one here. So other than that, it looks in amazing condition. So I have been doing actually a lot of reading. The reason I did a lot of reading because I don't want this to die on me, and I don't think actually I have done that much reading for any other plant other than Ensete. It kind of almost becomes a mission when you love plants and you think I have to make it survive this plant, and you try to do everything you can. I mean, the last 2 times I did it, I wouldn't say I did everything I could. I was kind of almost half-heartedly, if you know what I mean. But this time I say I'm not letting you die on me. I will make sure you survive. So let's see how it goes. I wanted to share with you guys this really interesting fact I learned about this plant, that cold does not cause it to go into dormancy. It's the drought. So these plants love water. If you see, 99.9% almost looks like it is they're made of water. That means they need water. So if there is a lot of drought, they go into dormancy, and that's exactly what happens when we dig this up and we don't give it water. Even if you don't dig this up, it's potted, you bring it into your conservatory or your heated house and you don't give it enough water, it starts to kind of go into dormancy. So I think that's quite interesting fact. Now there are actually so many ways you can store this one, and I'm going to share with you one by one, and then you can pick the best for yourself. So some people can store it in the porch if your porch will not go below 5 degrees. I remember I used to have a porch which we have knocked down now. I knew it did go into freezing temperatures, and it wasn't really well insulated. That's the key thing, how insulated your porch is. So that wasn't a good option for me. You can have your garage or your shed. If it's attached to your house and the temperatures don't go below 5 degrees, you have a good chance there. My shed, no chance, it will die. I know that. I'm not even going to try. Now the third option, if you have a basement, cool, basement will have good temperatures, but you can buy this really cheap thermometer, have a check, you know the temperatures, and then you can always keep on checking. Cool. The fourth option, you can have any dark cupboard in your house. I don't have a space in a cupboard to store this, so I have opted for Loft. Now is again, what works for me might not work for you, what worked for you might not work for me, you know, vice versa. So the key question comes in, there are only two things to consider. One, that your plant is completely dry when you are storing it. That means you are eliminating the chances of rot. Second, where you are storing it, temperature will not go below 5 degrees and it will have no contact with the moisture. And I'm going to keep an eye on my loft. Actually, my loft is really well insulated. I doubt it that it will go below 5 degrees. I am expecting, even if I'm not in the house, I go away, I don't think my loft is going to be 5 degrees, but again, I have not verified that. It's just my gut feel. Now I'm just thinking, okay, do I wrap it in a breathable sheet? So that's number one option. Do I opt for that? Second option, do I put it in a pot and put soilless media in? It could be gravel, it could be perlite, it could be bark, and at the same time I don't have to worry about moisture. Or my third option, I don't do any of that. I just put it in a cardboard box because it can breathe. So there are actually a lot of options. I don't see any option is wrong as long as the temperatures are favorable. That's the key thing, and it's not going to get light in the loft. It's amazing, so I don't have to worry about that. The only thing is going to get in the loft is nice home temperatures. What I don't know is that because I have dug it up quite early, I should be really digging this up maybe next week, maybe week after that. It really depends on when the temperature is going to be consistently freezing. So I have dug this up quite early. Why is that bad? So when you store something for a long time, that means they're going to use a lot of energy. That's how things work. So this plant, I don't know how much actually water it's going to lose. So it's going to be stored for a pretty long time. It's going to be stored, I would guess, until April or maybe end of March, depending on if we don't get the same spring as 2020. I really hope we don't. Oh, actually 2021, we are going to be in 2022. Yeah, so I really hope that we don't repeat 2021 in 2022, but we just don't know. So cool. I'm just going to make sure that I just use the sulfur on it. Actually, I did buy sulfur last year and I didn't use it. I kind of didn't believe it that it will work. The other thing I learned, if you don't have a sulfur, you can use the cinnamon powder. It does the same thing. It prevents the plant from rotting. So I have got sulfur. Actually, I'm just going to sprinkle all around here, and I'm going to do on all the cuts. Even though you see they look so dry, I just feel like I don't need to do it. So this one is kind of getting dried up and rotten. I feel like I should cut it, but I'm not 100% sure if I should give it a wound. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to cut this one, and I hope that it doesn't do any more damage than that. And I'm going to use cardboard box, and I think it should be good to go. And let's see how it does in the loft, and let's see if it survives. I will keep an eye on it, so let's do it. I'm just using a clean knife, and this one does not look great, so I'm just going to cut it. Actually, you see that looks really bad, so I'm just going to go a bit more deeper now. I almost want to take this whole thing off. Okay, looks good here. Okay, now let's check the other one. So this one, actually, that's not looking great either. I'm just going to cut this one too. And I am going to cut this one. I'm not 100% sure now if I should just use the sulfur on these clean cuts, or should I just let it heal. But I mean, if they are supposed to protect them from rot, I think I can just use it straight. So for that, I'm just going to get some gloves and put the sulfur on it. So this is the sulfur sulfur powder. Actually, normally you can buy in a bottle where you can spray it, and this one was actually quite cheap, so I just end up buying in a packet. But you do get a lot in a packet, and I'm just going to sprinkle it all around here. I'm just glad that it's no windy day today. Imagine all that going on me. Okay, so I have got a cardboard box here. So there is a cardboard box. I have just put a lot of perlite at the bottom. Actually, it's not a lot of perlite, and I'm just going to spray more sulfur around the edges here, and then it's good to go. Last year I didn't use the sulfur at all. This year I have just gone crazy with it, and I really hope that my plant will do really well, and actually it will be funny to see how much weight it's going to lose just sitting around in the loft. So I have brought Ensete up in my loft. This is again my gut feel. I have put it right next to the shared wall. That means that wall is the most warmest side of this loft, and the other ones are detached. That means it will not retain the heat and might be a lot more colder. Downstairs temperature is 19.9 degrees, and here I have got 14 now. 10 minutes ago when I came up to the loft, this temperature was 12 degrees. Me just opening the loft hatch has increased the temperature here by 2 degrees pretty much. So there is a big difference between downstairs temperature and loft temperature. Now I'm just imagining if I am not here in peak winter, that means it's gonna get below, I would think, easily 5 degrees. So this does not feel like really good option so far. Our loft is really well insulated, and it doesn't look like it now given I have captured the readings. The other thing to bear in mind is the humidity is extremely high here, and that means there is going to be a lot of moisture here, which is not good for my plant. I am really having second thoughts about putting it into the loft. I'm going to give it few days and see how it goes. If I see sign of rot, I'm going to bring it down, because downstairs temperatures are a lot more warmer. Again, that's to be considered, but the key lesson here is, if you are using Loft and you are using it for the very first time, just make sure that you are happy with the temperatures, keep an eye on it, and that's what I'm planning to do. Cool. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.